The pitch graph is a tool that will help you visually identify notes of the same pitch on the guitar fingerboard. The two main benefits are, 1, that you'll be able to find the best fingering for a particular musical phrase, and 2, you'll be able to produce the tone that you are hearing in your head. So translated, this basically adds up to you being able to develop your own unique style and sound on the guitar. Before we jump right in and discuss the concept of the pitch chart, I just want to make sure you understand how we're viewing this diagram. So it's a diagram of the fingerboard of the guitar, and the floor is actually in this direction here. The numbers on the side are representing the strings. This is the first string, and the first string of course is the thinnest string on your guitar. So that's how we're viewing the diagram. The pitch graph concept is very simple. I'm going to begin by colouring in the notes on the first string, from the open E right up to the 11th fret. I'm going to colour it in yellow. And then what I'm going to do is go and find notes of the exact same pitch and colour them in the same colour. So I'm going to go to the second string at the 5th fret and colour that in yellow right up to the 12th fret. So what we can now see is that the notes on the second string are just the same notes that we already know on the first string, duplicated. The second string from the 5th fret to the 12th fret is duplicated, same pitch is duplicated on the first string from the open E to the 7th fret. And now I'm going to take this one step further and go to the 9th fret on string 3 and colour that in yellow, from E on the 9th fret up to G at the 12th fret. If you take a look at the diagram, you'll notice there's many notes that I haven't coloured in. They're the same letter names as the notes that I have coloured in, but they are not the same pitch. And the purpose of our pitch graph is to show us notes of the same pitch and to show alternative ways of playing them on the guitar fingerboard. Okay, let's take this new information across to the guitar fingerboard, and we'll use a very simple example here. I'm going to use 3 notes. Say we take the first string open, E, F at the 1st fret on the first string, and G at the 3rd fret on the first string. Now, by looking at our pitch graph, we could see that we could relocate the open E. It could be moved to the 2nd string at the 5th fret. So now I could play that little musical phrase, E, F, G. I could play E at the 5th fret on the 2nd string, F at the 6th fret on the 2nd string, and finish by playing G at the 3rd fret on the 1st string. I could have also played E at the 5th fret on the 2nd string, F at the 6th fret on the 2nd string, and G at the 8th fret on the 2nd string. And of course there's many other combinations. Some of the finger combinations would be awkward, some would be easier than others, and this will depend from person to person. Some people would prefer a particular fingering pattern, and other people would use something else. The other benefit is that when you move the notes to different strings, you get a different tone. The tone of the open E string would be vastly different to the E of the same pitch played on the 2nd string at the 5th fret. And that's because you have now, instead of an open string, you're playing a closed note. You're using a finger to close the string off at the 5th fret, and also you have the thickness of the string. For example, say you wanted to use vibrato on the E note. Now, unless you're using a tremolo arm on an electric guitar, it would be very difficult to get that first string, E, to have a vibrato effect, whereas if you played that E on the 2nd string, you could use a finger vibrato. Now let's say that note sequence E, F, G was part of a solo that you wanted to play on guitar, and if you were reading off tablature, for example, and say they had marked it down on the tablature as E open, first string, F at the first fret, and G at the third fret, we wouldn't know our options. If we were just reading off the tablature and didn't understand where the notes are duplicated on the guitar fingerboard, we'd only have one way of playing it. So the pitch graph gives us many options, many solutions to musical problems.